beautiful Libra gang. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. My name is Annie, and I'm going to read your tarot cards for the week. Just a heads up, specifically this week, I will be gearing these readings more towards your rising sign. So if you are a Libra rising, you're definitely in the right spot. Libra, Sun, Moon, Venus, of course, you guys are welcome in this reading, but I do encourage you to check out your rising sign as well, only because I'm going to be introducing a little bit of kind of planetary positions, which have a greater emphasis on things that may happen in the near future. So let's have some fun. As always, get you some insightful, motivating, and powerful messages. Because they are general, not everything I say will resonate with every single one of you out there. Come in with an open heart, an open mind, and only take away what resonates with you, what motivates, empowers, inspires. Release the rest. If a message isn't resonating with you, assume it's going out to someone else, or it may mean something to you at a later date, okay? You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Bottom of the deck, the Empress. I'm sorry the lighting is so funny, but we're going to roll with it anyway. The sun is kind of going behind the clouds. Anyway, that's one of your cards, Libra, the Empress. Very mighty and powerful. Oh my gosh, and under that you have the Ten of Pentacles. And possibly a Virgo in the mix. I could keep going. I think you're stumbling upon something good. I know this is kind of cheesy, but if this doesn't have to do with a really good job offer or a really good financial opportunity, for a lot of you, that's very likely what it is. You could also be discovering the Hermit shining his lantern on information and wisdom. You could be discovering that you're pregnant. You could be, I'm hearing the word consider something more with a mother figure or some sort of maternal figure in your life. It could also indicate that you're kind of stepping into your self-worth. You're valuing yourself very much this week, and it's showing. It's like showstopper energy, the $1 million opportunity. I like that. It's very, and I can literally see the Wheel of Fortune peeking out here too. Possibly with a male air sign, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I know you can't really see it, but neither can I. There it is, though. It's coming in. So, gosh, we're starting off strong, Libra. That's epic. That's awesome. All right, let's look at what's going on here. You have a mixed bag of cards, as always, my Libras. Let's see. I don't know why I'm being pulled here first. In your 10th house of public career, your public standing, your social status, that sort of thing, especially career-related matters, things you do outside of the home, you do have the Five of Cups. I'm almost getting the idea that you may have felt embarrassed at work, or someone may have asked you something that it's like you didn't have the right answer to it, but you were made to feel like ashamed or a little bit bullied this week. I'm not sure what that is, or maybe if you're going for a raise or a promotion, it could be that it was passed off to someone else. However, what's really interesting about this card, you definitely have sort of a transitional, any five in tarot, agents of change and chaos, right? And this one is feeling a sense of loss, but also immediately I want to jump to remind you that not all is lost here. We think that initially. I call this my total eclipse of the heart. And I'm not attacking you by any means. I would say this to anyone, but I always joke when we're in it, it feels like the world is over, right? Total eclipse of the heart. My life is over. It can be very dramatic because something really got at you, right? Something, it stung you a little bit emotionally, right? However, once we can kind of step back and get a little bit of perspective on whatever this may be for you, 2 cups still remain here. There's something absolutely salvageable here. And for some of you, these are weekly readings. So remember, this could just be someone like needing to offer you an apology, or maybe you needing to understand that there are moments in life where we do have to kind of practice tough love with one another, right? So you may just be feeling a little bit sensitive because of something that happened in, at the workplace. Now, this is all happening in your 10th house, which is ruled by Cancer, just strictly in whole sign astrology. There's many different ways to do astrology. I do acknowledge that. In mine, I'm just doing whole sign this week for generals. So with that, we have 2 planets transiting through Cancer right now. We have the Sun, which is very important, right? Cancer season, meaning the Sun is in Cancer. The Sun acts as a spotlight. So this area of your life is being particularly highlighted. And with that, if this doesn't have to do with feeling a sense of shame or shyness or wounding at the workplace, with the Sun in Cancer, it might just be highlighting that for a long time you've been feeling lackluster or less than. And so with the Sun in Cancer, it may be trying to reinvigorate you to sort of get your head back in the game and make some necessary changes so that you're not constantly feeling like your career is just draining you, especially emotionally. You may work in a very tense type of job where it's very draining on your emotions or your energy, especially Libra, the relationships, right? The scales, the other. You may be putting a lot of time and energy, blood, sweat, and tears into your clients, your students, your fill in the blank, right? And so this just may be indicating that maybe you've reached a point in your career where you have to set either healthier boundaries or, again, mix up the ingredients ever so slightly so that at the end of the day, you're not just... it's like you have no charge left in your battery. You have to leave something for you or else you're just constantly depleted day after day, and you can't possibly sustain that, right? You can't maintain that for years at a time. So again, with the sun there, it's not a bad thing, but it might be saying this is an area of life that is of a particular focus for you for the next month. So if you're already feeling that something isn't quite right, this is a great time to spend some energy and time, again, reorganizing it, restructuring it, redoing it, or looking for other opportunities. The first message I got from this was not necessarily layoff or firing. I don't do scary messages, but I'm going to level with you, right? If I see something like that, why wouldn't I tell you? That's not the first message you got. I do think that there's something that was disappointing news. So it could have been that, again, if you were applying for a position, you might not have gotten it this time around. What's really interesting, though, is that you have tarot cards sort of complementing this Five of Cups that are very positive in terms of a new job opportunity. So whether you are leaving a place of business on your own accord or not, right? Maybe if there was a letting go at the company, right? Or if there was what is a good way of putting it? A opportunity to ascend the ladder, and for some reason that opportunity you applied for didn't work out for you. Again, it's not saying you have to leave the job entirely. I would say there's very likely another role coming around for you, the offer of a new contract that would actually make you a lot happier. And whenever this happens, this new offer, this new opportunity, judgment says to me, I think you're going to look back on what you thought you had lost out here and recognize, oh, I didn't want that anyway. It was never for me. It could even be after, I don't know the scenario or the timeline, but it could be that position you were gunning for that, essentially you didn't get. You may hear via word of mouth that it's like that role is really burdensome. It's like that role was created and they didn't think it through, and so now that person has all this extra responsibility and they don't know how to do it. Or do you understand what I mean? There was actually a huge silver lining to you not getting something, or whatever disappointing news this is. What's really cool though is that you also have planet Venus transiting Cancer. So again, same area. Venus is going to show you what these two cups remaining are. Venus is very much connected to romance, right? It is not only that, your ruling planet, so definitely influencing your, for my Libra risings, especially your first house of the way you present yourself. Venus is connected to money too, and I feel like in your houses of money, the water signs are the rulers of your houses of money here. That's what I mean. There's a second job opportunity that comes around, or it could be at an entirely different company. I just keep wanting to say, and I don't mean to sound insensitive, because I understand there is a disappointment here. And I'm not just saying you're going to wake up one day and be over it. That's not typically how the healing process works. But if you can try and have a higher perspective on the matter, that maybe whatever this was, even though at the time it felt like it was your everything, I would challenge you to really step back and understand, but maybe there's something about this opportunity that I didn't see. Maybe there was something about this opportunity that the universe purposely, saved me from, more or less, so that I could be introduced to this one, which is a much better suit for me. It's a much better fit. It literally has your card coming through here, right? Justice with Libra. I just like that more, I have to be honest. And I keep wanting to say, this is very likely, obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, for most of you, gunning for a very high power position at a workplace, but it would have been a headache. It would have been a nightmare. It wasn't all the bells and whistles you thought it was. And I'll be honest, some of you may even get it and then quickly realize, oh, this is humbling because it's not so much that I don't feel I can do it, because you can. It more has to do with, I don't want the headache of this. I don't want the mess of this. This is like, even though this has a fancy title, this is not making me happy. I was happier being, bottom of the food chain, so to say. Something about with judgment, you're going to look back and understand something differently about this opportunity. Not only that, Jupiter, the planet of luck and good fortune, is transiting your 6th house right now. And it is making a positive connection to your house of your career, long-term career goals. So that's what I mean. Jupiter, anything it touches, it expands. So there is huge potential for any of my Libras out there to not only succeed in the coming weeks or months in their career, but also to gain more responsibility, to gain more money. I'm trying to see what else this is. So let's see what's going against this. Let's see if I can get anything more about what this disappointment... Well, the thing is, some of you may already know what this disappointment is. It restricts you. Whatever this... If you got the position, again, you immediately feel like the Saturnian, like, restriction, authority. You have to do it by the rule book, and the rule book doesn't make sense, or whatever. Or the opposite, had you gotten this position, it would have kept you stuck in a role where, no matter what, good or bad, it would have impeded upon your growth in this life as a spiritual being. I wouldn't shed too many tears over this. I'm a realist. It's going to be heavier news, but with that, it's actually liberating you from something. That's what's coming in your 1st house. And that's what it is. Again, this is such a card of having the higher perspective, literally on top of the world, right? That expression, you can't see the forest from the trees. This will make sense in time. So I would just try your best to practice emotional intelligence, which can be very difficult for everyone in Cancer season, right? Cancer is a very, very sensitive, emotional water sign, right? Love me, my Cancers. I have a lot of Cancer in my chart, but it can be a turbulent time, Cancer season. And think of it this way, too. Cancer is ruled by the moon. So when you have the opposing sort of celestial body, or luminary, we call it, the sun and the moon, the sun in Cancer, it's a little bit awkward, right? The moon comes out at night, and then we have the sun in this sign ruled by the moon. So it's a little bit like, oh, what are these emotions I'm feeling? Why are there so many of them? Like, there's an adjustment period. So anyway, with that, though, this is going to teach you something about your own strength, your own willpower, your own courage. And from that, you're birthed into some new opportunity, and it feels like $1 million. So let's just take it from this point, right? We have Mars moving through Leo, which is happening in your 11th house of community and good fortune, friendships, large groups of people. I would say if you are looking for some sort of new position, it would be very wise to network with friends right now. And as mundane as it sounds, the 11th house has a lot to do with your online presence as well. So put yourself out there, update whatever, your LinkedIn, your Indeed, your resume, all that. Now would be a very good time for you to put a lot of energy and I am wanting to say confidence, beef up your resume. Again, kind of Venus having a positive aspect on the way you present yourself this week. Don't shy away from really good opportunities. Don't be questioning if you can do it, or if you're worth that much, or if you're good enough. You are. If you believe it, other people will believe it too. If you don't believe it, no one else is going to believe it, right? So there is an element here of fake it till you make it. And sometimes that can be very hard for Libra, right? Truth, justice, very Libra-esque things. It's not about fibbing. It's not about white lying. It's about getting out of your comfort zone where you may tend to hold back on selling yourself, on celebrating yourself. Thank you, Spirit. That's a good word for it. Celebrate yourself. You have a lot to show off this week. You have a lot to be proud of, so take advantage of that. There's some sort of creative opportunity that may be coming down the pipeline for you, but again, there's something about you more or less the universe is orchestrating you to get out of some conundrum, some sort of awkward position or difficult situation. It's a great time to focus on this situation tests your endurance and your strength and your confidence of character. This is meant to teach you It's meant to teach you about loss and failure, and understanding that that's not necessarily indicative of your abilities or your skills. It's that sometimes we go for things that the universe decides, I understand, Libra, you were really excited about this, but I got one better for you, but you're going to have to wait a little while. I would say in the coming month or two, this new thing coming down the pipeline, very likely a job offer. Again, such beautiful themes of liberation. It's going to set you free. There may be something very tech heavy or tech savvy about one or both of these opportunities. Again, having a really important online presence. You might be using your keen sense of intellect or conversation, language skills, your abilities to communicate, even translate, I'm getting. And yeah, this is like the start of a really beautiful chapter in your life. Come Leo season, this is going to make a little bit more sense. You may be applying to this job in Leo season, which for those who don't know is right after Cancer season. So we're in Cancer now. Cancer is going to be another 25 days or so. Then Leo season begins. And something about that, jobs involving your communication skills. Or in innovation, some sort of unique design. I don't know if it's interior design or web design, something. Anyway, I'm not going to list all the jobs, but some, confirmations for some of you, if that makes sense. So where is this? Okay, interesting. So this full moon is happening in your 4th house. There may be some job opportunity that takes you back to the past or working with someone from your past. Leo, the zodiac sign, Leo, Virgo, Libra is coming through very strongly here. So yes, of course you are a Libra as well, but there might be another Libra or even a Taurus that makes themselves known. There could be a business contract with something or someone that is already familiar from your past. I'm hearing there's an expansion of your rule or your, I'm hearing the words like dominion or your territory. I don't know if you work in sales. There's something about there's expansion of your rulership or your, I don't know if you're a teacher, it's like you're teaching more classes or more courses. You're influencing more minds. You're reaching more people. Very likely for a lot of you, again, opportunities online seem to be very hot for you right now. So if you are looking at work from home opportunities, I can tell you're not. You should be. Because there may actually be a really nice job that is work from home. And I don't know if you're for or against that, but I see that being it's funny, you seem kind of conflicted about matters regarding the home right now. This is kind of an unusual message, and so I'm going to deliver it, but I'm not exactly sure how this pieces in. I'm getting this idea that things are very chaotic out in the world right now, whether that's, again, your personal life, dating life, business life. So it's almost like when you go home at the end of the day, you're wanting it to be like this Zen, meditative, quiet, calm space. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I like it because I think you feel like you have a lot to sort through intellectually. You have a lot to process mentally. You're trying to come to terms with something inside. And I'm almost getting the idea of you want your private life and your public life, or your home or your external life, to be completely separate things. And I guess, yes, that makes sense, right? But also there's something about an opportunity that comes to your house and you seem very resistant of like, no, this is my safety space. Don't bring the office equipment. Like, I see some of you not wanting to work from home. And I'm not judging by any means. The irony is I feel like I've gotten a lot of messages where people are really wanting to do that now. Yeah, I don't know. It might be feeling like you wouldn't have connections, like a social life, not feeling like you would be stimulated enough in your house, or I'm not sure, Libra. And I'm sure some of you are watching this going, oh, that's not me. I would love to work from home. I don't know what to tell you. So if it's not career related, let's pull something on that. I'm struggling with what that is, but there's something very protective about the home right now. Or a reason why you're avoiding the home. I don't know if someone is mentally draining you at home, or you're fighting with a significant other, there's either an avoidance of home or a blocking and defending. Does that make any sense? There's like a separation, like, it's interesting. I'm not exactly sure what this is. But what's interesting is this area of your life is very important right now. That's where we have a full moon this week in Capricorn. Capricorn, again, in whole sign astrology, is the ruler of your 4th house. So something regarding your home, your family, your history, your roots, your past life, quite literally your past for some of you, there's a closing out, there's a tying up of loose ends. If something wasn't able to grow and thrive at one point, there was stagnancy or delay in the home, and after a significant period of waiting, there's going to be a little bit more movement again. Gosh, this is all over the place. If there were money problems in the house or home, if you were putting a lot of money into repairs, you may be starting to relieve your bank account. Something was frozen or not working in your private life. New light is being shed on that area, and significant room for growth. This sun card, which is like your vitality, your essence, your creativity, your warmth, your fire, your passion, your self-expression. I know that's a lot, but something about that was conflicted in the home. That is changing after a very long stagnancy, after a very long period of delay. There's some sort of Cinderella story there. There's some sort of happily ever after. Some of you may be getting news of pregnancy. Some of you may be getting word that you finally sold a property or land, or that you acquired a new house or a new home. You seem to be putting a lot of money or time or effort into something and wondering when you're going to reap the benefit of it. Something you started in Gemini season or put a lot of money into during Gemini season prior to Cancer. Something about your birthday or Libra season. There's freedom and liberation around the time of Libra season, around the time of your birthday. If of course you are a sun sign Libra. For my Libra risings, when does Libra start? End of September, early October, mid to late October. Something about that, the fall. In fact, yeah, you guys start off is it autumn equinox, fall equinox? Those two are interchangeable to me, but yeah. Something about the fall equinox, especially regarding land or property or something about a home. You're being asked to downsize or sort through items you no longer need and release them. With the coming of a new job or the new position, any new opportunity, that may impact the place you choose to reside. So in a sense, it may actually be preparing you for future events to come. That they would be beautiful opportunities and blessings, but it's almost like a domino effect. One major event in your life leads to another. So something about that is going to impact the home, but right now the home, there's still this, I don't know what to call it. If it's like a stifling energy, or there's something going on in the home, and it's ironically, I almost get you don't really want to talk about it. Like it's off limits. There's something very personal going on in your home or your private life right now, and it is actually weighing on you mentally. So, but you're going to be freed from it. You're going to be liberated from it. You have a lot of cards indicating liberation here. It may be financial freedom if you've been reliant on other people's funds or money or resources. Something to take off in a positive direction for you where you're making more money, or if you've been almost in debt, you may pay off your tuition, you may pay off your loans. If this has to do with like child payments or something about money has been slowed and delayed in getting to you, again, that picks up. You're being asked to be a little bit patient. And some of you may be waiting on some sort of opportunity to go back to school or to travel. Again, in the fall, that seems to be a more a more bountiful opportunity for you guys. Last but not least, let's just talk about love and romance, because I haven't gotten too much of that yet. So you may just be feeling like you're matching with a lot of flops if you're dating or on the dating apps. And obviously that won't last forever. But this is actually a really significant area of your life where you have to put in the work and time to see the reward. So unfortunately, if you are someone who's a little bit impatient, if you go on 2, 3, 4 dates and you're just like, all of these are bad, I give up, love isn't out there for me, you are completely misunderstanding what this is about. Saturn is sitting in your 5th house of dating as well as children. So that could be your situation too. Feeling frustrated by the lack of growth in that area of life. Again, with Saturn sitting there, it's the planet of dedication, hard work, commitment, responsibility. There's a new start here. This is an opportunity to manifest something that you've never had before. Something very positive, something that you want. So why are you talking yourself out of it? Or why are you reverting back to old narratives and old storylines to tell yourself that it's always going to be that way? Saturn can knock the wind out of you if you let it, but it's almost like you have to negotiate. And I know this is kind of a heady way of putting it, but you have to negotiate with Saturn because Saturn is saying, this is serious. You need to take this seriously. And you're like, but it's fun. It's dating. It's whatever. It can be fun and dating and whatever. But Saturn here says there's actually a lot more potential for this to be a serious commitment than maybe some of you are wanting right now. And for those who want a serious commitment, Saturn here is actually beautiful because it's allowing you to understand things in a higher perspective with a higher mind, Mercury energy, of maybe weeding out people who, for some reason or another, intrinsically you may be drawn to them, but they're more karmics to teach you lessons about yourself. This is a beautiful opportunity, having Saturn in your 5th house, but it doesn't always feel that way. But Saturn's going to be in this house for about 2 years, so take advantage of it. It is a good time to explore dating and explore, if it's not dating, pleasures, hobbies, creative endeavors, areas in life where you feel a sense of vitality or self-expression. These are all kind of 5th house ideas. A lot of you, this is going to lead to a marriage contract with someone from your past. But again, it's going to take time. Hanging out with a Libra right now who has a very positive outlook on life. That could be you to someone else. It could be a very close friendship, especially a work bestie or someone you've worked with either presently or in the past. Again, specifically, I'm being called to say a Libra. You may choose to... You may choose to date a fire sign, especially a Leo from your past, who I think you rejected. At one point in time, you just didn't see them as a suitable romantic option. It all comes back around. That's what I'm hearing. It all comes back around. It wasn't the right timing. You guys were destined to meet and cross timelines, and it's okay if you don't know who this is. It doesn't have to be a Leo, but I do see you after some humbling experiences in your dating life. Again, that's not an excuse to not show up to that area. It's not an excuse to give up. Saturn of all planets says, don't give up. We got to keep going. We have to keep ascending this mountain, right? The mountain goat, Capricorn energy. The higher you get, the more elevated your perspective on the matter is. Again, we've been using that metaphor a lot. You are going to have a different perspective on someone from your past. And certainly you have free will. I'm never saying you have to choose a specific person. I just see for a majority of my Libras out there, especially my Libra risings, you view someone with new eyes in a couple years or so. And maybe sooner, right? You know, the timeline for you guys is going to be a little bit different, but... Yeah, something about Neptune was influencing your ability to see with clarity what this person offered you, and maybe vice versa. And I think some of you may know who this is, but you're questioning if that person is single, or how could that be because that person's married, or again, there's some stuff you definitely don't know here, but I see possibly even 2 Leos in the mix here as well. Anyway, time will tell with that. I feel like there might be an Aquarius messaging you, but I'm not sure how committed they are. So again, maybe just have that conversation so that you're not at a standstill. I think it might be an Aquarius, but there might be someone who's fearing commitment, and it could go the opposite way. But yeah, I mean, someone is feeling sort of trapped or pressured by... one person is wanting to have a talk about very serious things regarding commitment, and the other person seems rather standoffish to that. So that in itself might be your answer, at least for the time being. I hope I didn't crush anyone's dreams there. Yeah, there's a lot of reflecting back to the past this week, and some of it is very positive. Some of it is going back to right a situation from the past that may actually lead to a new job contract or something. Anyway, all right, Libra Rising, that was a long one. Please remember to like the video, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you next week for more tarot. Bye.